Adrian Beck, Allison Franz, Ann Hughes, Brian West, Chris Lounsbury, Dan Cedarberg, David Wall, Dory Brownlow, Erica Grindy, Jason Emery, John Hart, Josh Slotnick, Juanita Vero, Katie Miller, Sarah Bell, and I have two people that have called in. Can I see who is the 1106 number?
Oh, that is Marisa Giorgio with NBC Montana.
Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you.
And the 5035 number?
That's Martin, Missoula Current.
Thank you, Martin Kitston. Is there anybody else that I have missed? All right, Josh, I'll let you take it away. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Annie. So do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda for today? All right, John, you're up next with a subdivision improvement agreement.
That's right, Commissioners. No surprises here. And I can also guarantee you that Martin is not on the call to hear anything about this improvements agreement. At least that's what I'm guessing. Anyway, I have an improvements agreement and guarantee from Michael Hayes and Matt Kavanaugh. They're the principals who are developing the C&H subdivision, and they are ready to bring this subdivision to the county for final plat approval. But there are some improvements that are a condition that have not been constructed or installed and improved. Those improvements include some earthwork and roads, sewer main, and stormwater retention facilities. And the cost of those improvements are somewhat significant. Missoula County Public Works Office has estimated that those improvements will cost $194,992.92. That includes a 25% contingency, but that still is a significant amount of money. Both Public Works and the City of Missoula have improved those estimated costs. I don't know for certain, but I'm guessing that the reason that the city approved those costs is either one, this subdivision will be annexed into the city, or that's not the case. I believe it's probably because they need to inspect this is on city sewer, and they'll need to inspect the city sewer improvements. But by having city review, that's just an added assurance that the estimated amount that it will cost to install these improvements is very, very solid. This guarantee is backed by an irrevocable letter of credit issued to Mr. Hayes and Mr. Kavanaugh in the amount of $194,992.92. That letter of credit is from First Montana Bank, locally here in Missoula. And I have reviewed the improvements agreement. I've reviewed the engineer's estimated costs. I've reviewed the standby letter of credit, and I recommend that the commissioners enter into this agreement and guarantee with Mr. Hayes and Mr. Kavanaugh. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about this agreement.
Sounds good. I'm glad that you.
I should add that they are agreeing to final installation and inspection and approval by June 22nd of next year, 2021. So this is a relatively short improvements agreement in that they are agreeing to have it done in less than a year.
John, looking at the improvements that they are pledged to complete, do you feel like that's a realistic timeline?
Well, I don't have any particular expertise in engineering or development, but I would think that they have asked for this, you know, that timeline is realistic given what they know, what the WGM, which is their consultant, knows, and probably fits within the time schedule that they need.
Great,
For
thanks.
all I know, they're going to do it this summer and be done, but I don't know that for certain.
Great. Well, I move to approve this subdivision improvement agreement.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic Independence Day.
Yeah, you too. All right, Chris.
Hi, so if it's all right, commissioners, I'll cover the next 3 items kind of as a package here, but I will talk about each one of them. So Missoula County has contracted for a number of years with Missoula Correctional Services to provide 3 programs, some of which are pre-trial, so they happen before a defendant may be convicted or acquitted in the process, and some programs that occur post adjudication in the court system. So the first program that we're looking at today is the one that happens in that pre-trial space. And so this is, again, before a defendant has been either acquitted or convicted of a crime. So this is pre-trial supervision, and this is a part of our jail diversion process whereby judges make determinations whether defendants need to be held inside the detention facility and can potentially order them to this program where they're evaluated and certain conditions are placed on them when they're released out into the community waiting trial. And so that's what the first program kind of does. Missoula County supplements that program or helps to afford that program in the amounts that are listed on the agenda today. I thought I would cover these together. I think I might actually cover the other 2 if I could together, because those are post-conviction and this is really the only one that's pre-adjudication. So if that's acceptable, I'll actually stop what I originally said and actually take them separately.
Great.
Works for me.
So I just wanted to let it be known that in the last, or second to the penultimate, the second to last CJCC meeting, there was a qualitative survey done in person around what issues were of most concern to people who work in the criminal justice community who were represented at that meeting. And this pretrial space came up as the #1 concern. And based on that and the fact that this is a really high dollar value contract, it is our intention over the life of this contract to dive deep into this and with the help of a consultant, take a hard look at what are our values around the pretrial space? And I say ours, I don't just mean the BCC, but all the people who are involved in the criminal justice system. What do people really want out of this? And then kind of do an inventory of what is it specifically we're getting with MCS and see how those 2 overlay each other. And then by the time this contract is finished, we could amend a new contract to reflect what we've learned or come up with a new plan if that's the way we want to go. So I just want to let it be known that it is our intention to examine these things really thoroughly over the life of this contract and look for something that doesn't look exactly like this when this contract is finished. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Brian, were you going to say something?
Sorry, taking off mute. No, I didn't have any comments at this time.
Okay. Does anyone else have comments on this? Okay, then. I move that the board approve this agreement to provide pretrial supervision, recognizing, like Josh said, that we're going to examine this.
Great. Thanks a lot, Juan. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioners. So the next 2 items I will actually lump together here, even though they are different programs, but these both happen in the post-adjudication phase. So this is after somebody has been convicted. They can be sentenced for misdemeanor crimes to a misdemeanor probation process, which is similar to felony probation, where they have certain conditions that they have to meet for the period of time that they're being supervised. Missoula Correctional Services employs those officers who make sure that people comply with the orders that the judge has put in place after they have been convicted of a crime at the misdemeanor level. So most of those, because they're misdemeanor, are coming out of justice court, as you can imagine, although there may be, there are occasions where someone has committed both a misdemeanor and a felony crime, and so there can be times when their misdemeanor restrictions come out of district court as well. But most of this work is done in the justice court level of our judicial system. The second piece that often happens with that is you'll often see people who are sentenced to community service hours where they need to do some restitution to the community through civil work. And that's the second piece of this that Missoula Correctional Services provides. They help to provide those opportunities, provide workers' comp insurance, provide safety training, provide supervision when those hours are happening to make sure that folks are safe in doing those community service hours where they, in essence, pay off fines or give back to the community in the way that the judges have ordered. And so that's what the second one of these two contracts is in that post-conviction space.
Great. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'm so sorry. We have some folks coming in to work on my kitchen, my propane, and I missed a little bit of that.
I'm happy to give a quick run through again.
With the second one, the community service.
Yeah, so community service, often folks are sentenced when they're sentenced to either work off their fines through community service, or they can be sentenced to perform community service just based on the nature of the crime that they've committed to give back to the body public. And so Missoula Correctional Services provides that service. They provide both the supervision piece as well as the workers' comp tracking of hours for the court so that they can get credit towards those fines and fees if they exist and other things. And so that's what the second contract is, where it says community service program. That's who helps us to facilitate that program around community service hours.
Right. Thanks for the recap, Chris. Sorry about that.
I'm happy to do it.
Well, I move to approve the agreements for misdemeanor supervision and correctional services. So I guess items 3 and 4.
Wonderful. Thanks. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, is Kylie with us?
I am. Hello.
All right. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. So, yeah, so I'm Kylie Paul, the Natural Resource Specialist for Parks, Trails, Open Lands in the Community Planning Services Department. And I'm here once again with a 9 Mile Creek restoration project step. This one is to basically, to sign off on a collection agreement with Trout Unlimited and us to allow them to do the on-the-ground work this year, and for us then to be available for them to invoice, and then we invoice through DNRC through the grant funds that we've helped garner over time. And so this is a stage that was awarded several years ago, and now we're finally ready to have it be on the ground and start moving dirt, as they say, to help with restoration of the 9 Mile Creek in terms of previous mining damage that occurred there in the past. So this is a collection agreement, and hoping that we'd be able to sign that today and kick it off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't do this, Kylie.
It's pretty neat work.
So before we just say yes to this, I just wanted to add one thing, that there is out there in the world right now another proposal to do some gold mining in the 9 Mile, which does seem somewhat bizarre. All of the effort it's taken and money it's taken to clean up from previous mining in the 9 Mile, and just to put that out there in the world, that history does seem to repeat itself, and maybe, hopefully, we can learn from the lessons of the past.
Indeed, and we did submit a letter from CAPS.
I know.
In relation to that scoping.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks, Josh, for commenting on the irony. So I move that Slotnick to sign the collection agreement, and let's get this started. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Kylie.
Thanks,
Sure
Kylie.
thing. Thanks.
Is Cindy here? I can't imagine Cindy would have time to be here. Did she send an emissary? Chris, what do you think?
So we could maybe continue on and see if somebody pops on from the health department. And
Sure.
if not, I mean, this is grant money coming in for, as it lists multiple programs, but I could also take a quick look at what the specifics are in that while we're
Yeah,
doing that.
I mean, it seems like this is grant money coming in. This is just the kind of thing we would do. And given the state of the world right now, Cindy Farr is one of the busiest humans around. So give her lots of slack. Should we jump to number 7?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you gonna put on your Strohmeyer hat?
I don't have a hat with me.
You should
I can't
cross the hall,
my
man.
impression.
This is Cory. I can
Speak in sentences. That's not a real good impression sort of thing.
Oh, Dory's gonna wear the hat. Where?
Dory's gonna wear the hat. Put the hat on.
I prepared the RCA, so I can prepare the hat. I didn't know Dave wasn't going to be here, but that's fine. So we were just looking at a vehicle to get this set for commissioner's public hearing, set that date, and then kind of backtrack and get a resolution that has to be noticed in the Missoulian. So this is just to set a hearing on your July 30th public hearing date to set the hearing on the joint resolution. We'll know, Dave will know on the 9th, I believe, which counties are going to be included in that joint resolution. So this is just to set the hearing before the commissioners.
Yeah,
And-
it's pretty exciting. He has about maybe a quarter of all the potentially participating counties have signed on. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it's really, Dave's done an amazing job, and it's great to see counties piling on, and I expect more will after this gets rolling.
Yeah.
They won't get the hoodies though. You got to get in early to get the hoodies. It's on them.
Well, then I motion to set the hearing for July 30th, 2020.
Great. And the only document is the RCA, so there's no attachment to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Dory. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay, I had a chance to look at the health department one, if you have a moment.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, so this is their master agreement with the state of Montana for several programs. It includes the tobacco use prevention program, the cancer control program, as well as the worksite wellness program and diabetes prevention program, which that master contract is called the Hub contract, according to their documentation. So this just covers the various amounts that the state DPHHS will be passing down to Missoula County for each of those programs. The only other piece that looked to be of note was traditionally we have subcontracted with Ravalli and Mineral counties for their tobacco cessation programs. And it looks like in this contract, they're saying for this year that the state is not subcontracting that to Missoula County. So I don't know if those two programs are off running on their own, or if for some reason they are choosing not to participate as counties.
Okay. Should we get this one done?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I move to sign the task order.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Chris,
And
do you
then
want
Chris-
to do these next ones?
Yep, commissioners, items 8 through 12 for PHC are standard renewal of their employment agreements. Again, most of their providers are on one-year contracts just because of the nature of the work that they perform. And so these are renewals, again, for providers at Partnership Health Center for this next fiscal year, which started yesterday, July 1st, and continues.
Happy New Year.
June 30th. Yeah, this Happy New Year for them. So, so these are just those items. Looks like it's items 8 through 12.
Okay, I move to approve the standard employment agreements for PHC, items 8 through 12.
Wonderful. All right, all in favor?
Oops, Annie has her hand up.
Oh, thanks for catching that.
I'm sorry. Just after you vote, we had somebody join us on the phone. So go ahead and vote, and we'll circle back to see who joined us.
Okay. Thanks, Juan. Thanks, Annie. All right, all in favor on 8 through 12?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thanks. Okay, Annie, who do we have?
It looks like somebody else called in, 0297. Did we already check to see who that was? Somebody on the phone?
Sorry, this is William Miller from KUCI TV.
William Miller. Thank you.
Thanks for identifying yourself. Okay, we're down to correspondence.
I feel like this is me again. Sorry for the first one. Oh no, I'm the second. I'm the second
You're the
one. not the
second
first
one.
I apologize.
I am playing the role of Chet Krauser today, unfortunately for you. This is just a letter of support to the DNRC for the Clinton Irrigation District's project proposal to convert an irrigation ditch to pipeline.
So
I believe you're already familiar with this project.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this is the first time in the modern era where you have 2 of 3 commissioners who actually have experience with this, hands-on experience with this type of project. Probably pre-1970, they all did, but maybe PPC wasn't invented then. I don't know.
It's just one of the many things that makes our county special.
Right. Well, we signed this letter and we're excited to make this happen, if I remember.
Yes.
Yep. And Annie, I forwarded you the contact info for who this letter needs to go to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
All right. So the second letter is the Fairgrounds stakeholder letter. So commissioners, you had a chance to meet earlier last month now, because it has technically, the month has rolled over, with a group of folks from the fairgrounds, including the hockey and ice community, as well as the 4-H folks, as they were looking towards approaching the commission about your feelings about potentially putting a bond on the November 2020 election related, to their efforts to build a 4-H facility and additional ice facilities at the Missoula County Fairgrounds as part of the redevelopment. During that meeting, the commission decided that they really felt most comfortable with putting that off, given the current situation that's going on with COVID and the change in unemployment numbers in Missoula County, and just a great sensitivity around additional potential tax burdens, given everything that's occurring and the uncertainty of the nature of the pandemic that's going on. And so this is just your formal letter back to them. You had expressed that during the meeting with them. So this is just kind of that formal communication back to them, letting them know that you fully support their efforts in the area of youth education and youth recreation, as well as adult recreation, and all the work that they have done in helping to get the Fairgrounds renovation project to where it is currently and where it will finish out. And that you would like to see these projects go forward, but that it will need to wait till a little further time in the future.
Yeah, I just want to note what a great job these folks did in unifying their efforts, bringing 4-H together with the rodeo folks seems like a pretty natural match, but jumping in with the hockey people and the other ice sports, figure skating and curling, might not have seemed like a natural fit, but together they really created a fantastic proposal. They did some great polling, and pre-COVID, their numbers were a slam dunk. And I'm just going to guess that we probably would have voted to put this on because the polling was overwhelmingly in favor of it. Missoulians love these activities, support our youth, enjoy ice sports, and really like the fair. But we're in a completely different reality. And it's super sad not to be able to see this dream come true right now. But a whole lot of dreams are on hold at the moment. And when we get back to prosperity, this will be first in line. So we really are sorry that this has to be the way it is.
But I think, yes, this will allow it to be successful in the future, and this needs to happen, and we're going to help make it happen.
And I know if Dave was here, he would point out that there are a whole bunch of developments at the fairgrounds that have already been paid for and are well underway. And if anybody can visit in an appropriately safe way over the next couple of months, you'll see a really new fairgrounds. We are continuing to move the fairgrounds leaps and miles forward from where it was just a few years ago. So work is continuing, and it's successful work, and we'll add this piece as soon as we get back to prosperity. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
You bet. Thank you. And I can do the introduction for the last piece of correspondence if you'd like, or if one of you feels more comfortable doing that, whichever you'd like. So, and this is the letter to the health officer.
So I'll say something, but I'm sure Juan would like to too, and I'm sure Dave would if he was here as well. I just want to make sure that the world out there knows that our letter to Ellen is a letter of support. That asking Ellen to do this, she already knows this needs to be done. We're not telling her something she doesn't understand, but this could be potentially controversial. And I think it's really important that we let her know we support her in this, that she is not in this alone, because she could take some heat for this, and we're on her side, and we're lending her our voice of support and enthusiasm. We got her back. That's what this is about. This isn't a letter shaming someone. This is a letter saying, we support you, we are behind you. And I want to make sure, especially that the media gets it, that's what this is about.
No, that's great clarification, Josh. Thank you for saying that.
There we go.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. I don't know.
Yeah.
Chris, is there anything else to
The
add?
only thing I'd add is that, as you know, Ellen will be meeting with the health board. They're working on setting a meeting so that they can have this conversation. And I think undoubtedly Ellen appreciates the sentiments of both the commission and the mayor. And I think the health board will appreciate having that information as well as they head into the decision space that they operate in. So
I'm going to say for media folks who are on the line, my phone and computer have been blowing up with emails, and 100% of them are in support of this. No one has written me a letter saying don't do this, and a huge number of people have written saying please do this. And if people are wondering about, well, why not have this health board tomorrow? There are noticing requirements that have to be met and schedules, et cetera. So as far as I know, it's being done as soon as it can.
Are there any media comments or questions? No. Okay. Oops.
This is Martin. So is this a decision that falls to the purview of the health board, or can a health officer make this unilaterally?
Chris, do you know the process on this?
I do not. I would defer to one of our fine attorneys who are on the phone.
I'm going to pipe in just to state that right now Anna's working closely with both the board and the officer to determine what the most appropriate venue would be. We don't have an answer as of right now.
Thanks.
Maritza?
Yeah, thanks. I'm wondering, first of all, do you guys envision this as like an all-out mask mandate or just for certain businesses? And also, I know there are scheduling requirements and things that need to be done, but how soon could that board meeting be scheduled?
So I can speak to the first one, but not to the second one. Maybe Brian knows. I know there's some noticing requirements and some schedule things and technology, but I don't know for sure what those days are. So all I can do is speak for myself really on this. I am on the health board, but one of a bunch of voices. In terms of an all-out mandate, what is in my mind, and hopefully is reflected in our letter, that this would be attached to businesses. So if a person is indoors in a business that interacts with the public, they should be wearing a mask. Outside in your own house, in your buddy's house, this doesn't apply. It would just be indoors in businesses. That's the extent this would cover.
That have business licenses in Missoula.
Yes, thanks.
Or health department licenses.
Exactly. So the enforcement piece of this would lie more with the health department in the way that they already have regulatory power over certain businesses that have food and beverage licenses, but this would apply to all businesses that interact with the public, as opposed to making this a rule that would be enforced by law enforcement. So we're not going to see, is the way I envision this, but it'll unfold. We wouldn't be seeing sheriff's deputies or MPD folks handing individuals tickets. It wouldn't be like that.
I'll just respond to say that I don't believe that we have a set timeline, and I don't want to put a timeline on it because anything I state might end up being incorrect.
Brian, when you said Anna's working on this?
Correct.
So she would know at some point.
Yes.
Okay.
The only reason I ask is I'm sure, like you guys, I get people writing me every day. When are they going to do this? Our numbers went up again, and I think people.
Sorry, Josh, were you gonna?
Oh, I just said I absolutely hear you, and as soon as we know, you all will know. So,
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay, thank you.
And Katie Miller?
Yeah, hi, Katie Miller with KPAX. I was also going to ask how soon this would take effect, and if you guys can just clarify for the folks at home, what businesses are not licensed by the health department?
So and Brian, I may need your help on this, but as far as I know, what the health department does licenses for are food and beverage, but this would apply to businesses that get all businesses have to get a license from the city if they're operating in the city. So anybody with a business license, this would apply to.
I think that's a pretty accurate assessment, Josh. I'm sorry, wrong deputy on the line to answer that particular question.
That's all right. Thanks.
And then Chris, I guess you had a clarification. Then out in the county, there aren't business licenses as there are in the city. So for businesses out in the county, it'd be businesses that require health licensure.
I think that's an accurate statement based
Good.
on
Yeah.
what Ellen's looking at.
Good job, Juan and Chris, nailing that down. Yeah.
Oh, Maritza.
Also,
Sorry.
I guess I want to add to this. So this has to either Ellen can make this decision or it goes to the health board. I'm not entirely sure where that right now. It sounds like some attorneys are figuring out where exactly that authority lies, but that decision won't be made by the BCC or the folks on this call. We are speculating. It's a good speculation based on our conversations, but it'll be nailed down either by Ellen or the health board, depending on where the legal authority falls.
And I just had one more question about this. When I've asked Ellen about this and talked to her about this, she said, she knows that masks are helpful in preventing the spread of COVID-19. Her concern about actually doing a mandate is how do they enforce it? How do they have enough people to help enforce it and not lose focus on contact tracing and testing and isolation? And so I'm wondering, is there anything that the county can provide the health department to aid in that if there is some kind of mandate passed?
All I can say is we haven't been asked for anything, but we would entertain any asks very seriously.
Chris has.
Sorry, I threw mine up. That Josh summarized it well, but I was just going to mention, in addition to the health department, the Emergency Operations Center, which is the county piece of this response, stands ready to provide whatever assistance it can that will help out the health department.
Yeah, when we get an ask, we will take action.
Katie? Oh.
Sorry, I just forgot to lower it.
No worries. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Any other questions on this? We're happy to keep chatting. All right, then it looks like we're done.
Wait,
Are
we
we
don't
done?
have any flooding, fire?
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Done with this. So, yeah, let's get to discussion items. This is a computer issue for me of a little tiny box on the bottom with the agenda. So, yeah, do we have communication needs, requests?
Yeah, Josh, this is Allison, and I was just wondering if you were all set for that video with the mayor.
I
Do you need talking points or anything?
I'm not quite sure. So if it can get to the schedule where I know what to do, then I'm all set.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
on your
I think-
schedule for. It's on your schedule for 11. Thank you, Sarah Bell.
Perfect. So with a Teams or a Zoom, something like that.
Yep. Teams.
Perfect. Great.
Teams.
Thank you, Allison. Then I will be ready.
All right, great, thanks.
Any other COVID stuff or flooding or fire we need to talk about? All right. Events or invitations? Anything we need to sign? Any other comments or instructions?
Oh, there's ribbon cutting for
Oh, right,
Russell
for the
Street
bridge.
that neither of us can go to, but we will be ribbon cutting in spirit. Or
I
sorry,
believe that's on the 8th.
I will say, living right there in the neighborhood and having run under the bridge today, having the trail connection underneath the bridge is a wonderful thing. I know people suffered a lot of heartache with the detours and everything else, but it simply is an amazing feat what they did.
Okay, I just have a
happy you're
second.
able to run, Chris. You're recovered.
I biked under
Fantastic.
that. I biked under that bridge today to get to work, as I do often when the weather is nice, and it is an incredible amenity. And say the difference between biking on the street and biking on a bike path, they're radically different. On one, you're a prey animal and you're completely like at odds all the time, looking everywhere. And on a bike path, you can relax, listen to the news if you like, and just bike to work in safety. So thanks to all who made that happen. Anything else?
Commissioner Slotnick, this is Martin Kidston. I just earlier this week, Senator Tester and Daines announced a round of PILT payments in lieu of taxes. I'm wondering how much Missoula County will be netting from this round and what that does for the county's current budget situation or what financing or whatever.
It's a great question. Is it Chris or is Andrew on the line?
So Andrew is off on vacation today. Martin, I can get you the number that Missoula County has because I have access to that, and if that's okay offline, and then we'll see if we can get somebody who can answer other questions you might have.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one to point out, Martin. Good job catching it because it really does have a big effect on our budget.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, do we have any? We're open to any other questions. All right, then. Everybody's got 22 minutes till the next thing.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh,
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.